Hello, my name is Gabby, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing a video for a book for every song on Fearless by Taylor Swift. If all goes to plan, this should be going up on the day that Fearless Taylor's version drops. And I'm so excited for this album. I'm just so proud of Taylor for taking charge and re-recording all of her own music so that she has the rights. If you're new to my channel, you might not know that I'm a massive Taylor Swift fan. If you didn't know, I've also done a video like this for nearly all of Taylor Swift's other albums. Like, the only one I haven't done is the debut, but for every other Taylor Swift album, I've done a video like this. So I'll have to link them all down below if you like this style of video and you want to see a video like this for the other albums. But I'm very excited to do a video for this album because this album was the album that made me a Swiftie. Like, this album came out when I was in 8th grade. I was like about 13 years old, and when I heard this album, I fell in love. I just related so much to all the lyrics that she was saying. I was like a young songwriter, guitar player myself, so I was very inspired, and ever since then I've been a pretty diehard Swiftie. So Fearless was the album that got me into Taylor Swift, so I love this album. It's very near and dear to my heart. And God, this makes me so nostalgic, you know, because I literally fell in love with this album when I was 13 years old and now I'm 26, and it's been 13 years of loving Fearless. So yeah, these songs make me a little bit emotional just because it's so nostalgic for me. And just a disclaimer, I'm not going to be doing all of the songs on the Fearless Deluxe and all the vaults and everything. I'm only going to be doing 2 deluxe songs as well because if I did the full thing, we would be sitting here for hours. But I did the 2 bonus songs that are personally my faves, so we'll get to those at the end. But for now, let's jump in! The first song on this album is Fearless, which is probably maybe my favorite song on this album. I just absolutely adore this song, and I feel like this song totally captures the vibe of this album, you know? And a book that I feel like fits the song pretty perfectly is Written in the Stars by Alexandria Bellafleur.
Run your hands through your hair, absent-mindedly making me want you.
This book is a female-female romance, and it's just one of the cutest and softest female-female romances that I've ever read. I love this idea that they are like bringing out the best in each other, and she's making her less afraid. Like, she literally danced in a storm in her best dress because she's fearless. And this book is really fun because it involves like fake dating and stuff, so it's kind of like this mutual pining and they don't really know how the other one feels, and so they do kind of have this like moment where they need to be fearless and like confess their love for each other, you know? I just feel like this book really fits this cute vibe of the song Fearless. Darcy in this book is a Capricorn, and she is very fine with being like very independent, like doesn't need anyone. So like for her to even admit that somebody would be giving her feelings in the first place, like that's a really big step for her, and that's fearless of her to do. Next song on the album is 15, and for some reason when I just like did this singing part of this video, I cried while listening to 15, not totally sure why. But a song that I feel like fits this book really well is To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han.
You take a deep breath and you walk through the doors. It's the morning of your very first day.
And this is mostly because I feel like the vibe of this song just really matches the vibe of this book for me. It's just this really like youthful, innocent, like just starting high school and like your whole life is ahead of you. And I feel like that line, when all you wanted was to be wanted, is so perfect for this book because, you know, she literally wrote all these love letters to all the boys that she's loved before, and they get mailed out by accident, but you know, I just feel like it captures that feeling of like when you are like a young 15-year-old girl, you know, just starting high school, that feeling of like you just want to be seen, you know, you just want someone to notice you, and I just feel like that's so happening in this book. And this is one of the only like young adult romances that I really genuinely like. So I feel like it had to be this book for me.
'Cause when you're 15, somebody tells you they love you, you're gonna believe them.
Alright, the next song on the album is Love Story, which, oh my god, one of the most iconic Taylor Swift songs to ever exist ever. Like, I feel like this song made Taylor Swift who she is today. Like, this song blew up. And a book that I think fits this song really perfectly is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid.
We were both young when I first saw you. I closed my eyes and the flashback starts.
Would it even be a Taylor Swift album video if I didn't include Evelyn Hugo in some way? This is one of the most epic love stories that I've ever read in my whole life. I feel like especially the lyrics like, "This love is difficult but it's real, don't be afraid, we'll make it out of this mess." And the whole idea of like, "I got tired of waiting, wondering if you were ever coming around, my faith in you was fading." Like, not so much just the like Romeo stuff and the like proposal stuff, like not that, but the stuff underneath, you know? "We were both young when I first saw you," and like it's summery and like there's ball gowns. It's very like Enchanted vibes to me, and I also put this book for Enchanted because I just feel so similarly about them.
Don't be afraid, we'll make it out of this mess. It's a love story, baby, just say it.
The next song on the album is Hey Steven, and I'm not gonna lie, this was one of the songs that I had a lot of difficulty finding a book for this song because not only is there like no books with a love interest named Steven, like I searched my shelves for so long, but also because this is probably one of my least favorite songs on the album. Like I just don't really ever listen to this one. But for this song, I'm gonna go with Evie Drake Starts Over by Linda Holmes.
All the girls tossing rocks at your window, I'll be the one waiting there even when it's cold.
And this is mainly because this is one of the most soft, cute contemporary books that I've ever read, and we're following this girl Evie who is pretty set on the fact that she's gonna be alone, or like that she's fine being by herself. And so I think for that reason alone, the line like, "You've got me, boy, you've got me believing I don't always have to be alone," like just for that line, I feel like this book fits the song so well. And it's really cute because in this book they're just living in like this small town in Maine, and this guy who's like a former MLB player, like he's gonna be coming and like renting a room in her house, and then a romance slowly starts to form between them, and it's just one of the cutest things ever. It's just so genuine and wholesome, and the friendships and the characters in this book are just so cute, and I just feel like it does fit the vibe of like Hey Steven. It's just this cute like, "Oh hey, maybe I don't have to be alone anymore because you're cute," you know?
Come feel this magic I've been feeling since I met you, can't help it if there's no one else.
Alright, the next song on the album is White Horse, which is, you know, arguably one of the saddest songs Taylor Swift has ever written. And a book that I feel like fits this song perfectly is The Push by Ashley Adrian.
Holding on, the days drag on, stupid girl, I should've known.
And I know if you haven't read this book, you're probably like, "Bitch, what?" Because this is kind of like an adult thriller-ish, but I would consider this book to be more of like a psychological drama. It's this really sad, intense story about this woman who gives birth to this child that she just doesn't really connect with, and because of that, she starts to have marital problems as well. And I feel like for me, this song is kind of representing this idea of like, you've always imagined your life to be kind of like a fairy tale, you know, like you always imagine like, "Oh, I'd be the princess, you'd sweep me off on your white horse." And like I feel like a lot of times too, for like girls especially, like growing up, like we have this idea of what our life is gonna be like we're supposed to be like wanting marriage and kids and all of those things, and then when those things happen and they don't play out the way that we thought they would, it can be really heartbreaking, you know, because like you always imagined your life to be a certain way, and when it doesn't go that way, it can be devastating. And I feel like that's how this book really relates to this song for me, like this idea of like what she wanted for her and her husband, and she didn't always know if she wanted to be a mother, you know, but she wanted him to be happy first. And just those lines of like, "I'm not a princess, this ain't a fairy tale," that regret of like putting yourself in a vulnerable situation in the first place. I just feel like this book fits the song really well. If you've read the book, you probably would understand. If you haven't read the book, ooh, it's a dark one. It's really dark, so I would check with trigger warnings before you read this because it is very sad and very dark.
I had so many dreams about you and me, happy endings, now I know.
Right, the next song on the album is You Belong With Me, which fun. How much fun is this song? And a book that I feel like fits this song perfectly is Top Secret by Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy.
She's going off about something that you said, 'cause she doesn't get your humor like I do.
And this book fits this song perfectly, in my opinion. It's a male-male romance, but at the start of this book, one of them has a relationship with another girl. And in this book, they're both roommates. Like the two guys that it follows, they're roommates. They're both trying to compete to be president in their frat house. So it's like not only are they roommates, but also they're anonymously talking to each other online, and they don't know that they're talking to each other. So they don't even know that they have feelings for each other yet. But I feel like I never considered this song from like a male point of view. It could almost be seen as like a bisexual thing, right? When it's like she wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts, she's cheer captain and I'm on the bleachers, like if it was from a male perspective. But I just feel like this fits them so well because of the way it's like you're on the phone with your girlfriend, she's upset because she doesn't understand you like I do. And there's even that lyric about like the music, like I'm listening to the kind of music she doesn't like, and I'm pretty sure there's like a reference in this book where there's like a scene where he talks about how his girlfriend doesn't like this music or something like that, and I was like, it fits perfectly. And they're just so adorable in this book, and I can just so see Luke singing this song to Keaton. It's just amazing.
Dreaming about the day when you wake up and find that what you're looking for has been here the whole time.
The next song on the album is Breathe, which this is also one of my favorite songs that Taylor Swift has ever written, mainly because it's just so stunning and it makes me want to cry. And a book that I think fits this song perfectly is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara.
It's the kind of ending you don't really want to see.
Because this book is one of the most depressing books that I've ever read in my whole life. The things that Jude goes through in this book are just unimaginable and horrible. And I just feel like he could really relate to these lyrics. And just like these lyrics in general could describe this book. Music starts playing like the end of a sad movie. It's the kind of ending you don't really want to see because it's tragedy and it'll only bring you down. Like that perfectly describes this book for me. And the whole idea of like, I can't breathe without you. Literally. That line too, like, you're the only thing I know, like the back of my hand.
And I can't breathe without you, but I have to.
The next song on the album is Tell Me Why, and a book that I think fits this song perfectly is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover.
You took a swing, I took it hard.
I feel like this book fits this song a little too perfectly, like it's intense, because this book revolves around abuse and like our main character being abused. And so I just feel like these lyrics really fit this song well, like you took a swing, I took it hard, and down here from the ground I see who you are. Shit. And the way this song kind of talks about him having a temper. That's why it's weird though, because I feel like this song is such a like happy song, like the beat is really like high tempo and it sounds like really fun, but the lyrics are really dark and disturbing.
You tell me that you love me and cut me down.
Next song on the album is You're Not Sorry, and a book that I think fits this song pretty well is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab.
I've been giving out chances every time and all you do is let me down.
But in this book, I think specifically the relationship between Addie and Luke, I feel like fits this song really well. Because in this book, Addie LaRue gets cursed and she gets to live forever, like she's immortal, but she gets forgotten by everyone that she meets. And I feel like her relationship with Luke is interesting in this book because he is the only one who remembers her and he is the reason for this curse. The whole idea of like her giving out chances and every time all you do is let me down, and how she just loses her faith in him and doesn't want to see him anymore, and she's so angry with him. He's just not sorry. Like he's not sorry for anything that he did to her and all the things that he put her through. And even that last line in this song when she says like there's nothing left to beg for, like fuck dude, that hits.
And you think that we'll be fine again, but not this time around.
Next song is The Way I Loved You, and I feel like a book that fits this song perfectly would be One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid.
He is sensible and so incredible.
In this book, this woman finds out that her husband has died, and then 4 years have passed, she's with this new guy, she's engaged to this new man, and then they find out that her husband actually isn't dead, he was stranded on an island for 4 years and he's coming back. And so this is like the ultimate love triangle situation. I love how this book talks about how grief can change a person and how you're not the same person you were after you go through something as devastating and heartbreaking as losing your husband, and how you can be a different version of yourself when you're loving different people, you know, like different people will bring out different things in you. And so I love this idea of like that was not the way that I loved you, or that you crave that like crazy passionate young love, you know, but that's not always the most realistic for your life anymore. I don't know, I love the discussion of that in this book. I feel like this song, The Way I Loved You, really fits the vibe and the mood of this book as well. The next song is Forever and Always, and this is definitely one of my favorites on the album, definitely my top 3, because I love blasting this song like full volume and just screaming it at the top of your lungs. But a book that I think fits this song pretty well is The Bromance Book Club by Lisa K. Adams.
This thing is breaking down, we almost never speak. I don't feel welcome anymore.
Because in this book we're dealing with this married couple who is struggling because they don't know if they're gonna stay married or they don't know if they're gonna get divorced, like they're having some problems. And so I think the idea of like you said forever and always, and like it rains when you're here and it rains when you're gone, like they're unhappy no matter what because they need each other in their lives, but they're also not happy and not functioning the way they are now. The next song on the album is The Best Day, which holy shit, this is another one that will make me cry. Like, it doesn't matter when or where I listen to it, it'll make me cry. And a book that I think fits this song perfectly is Room by Emma Donoghue.
I'm 5 years old, it's getting cold, I've got my big coat on.
I mean, even at the beginning of this song, she's like, I'm 5 years old, it's getting cold, I've got my big coat on. This song is the most childlike, innocent song that I've ever heard. And in this book, you know, we're following this boy. We follow from the point of view of this 5-year-old boy, and it's adorable and sad because, you know, reading from the point of view of this 5-year-old boy, he doesn't realize that they've been abducted and that he's with his mom in this room. He thinks the room is like their whole world, you know, like he doesn't understand the fact that there's a world outside of this room. And I just feel like this song captures this little boy and his mom's relationship so well, because it's like, I don't know why all the trees change in the fall, like I don't know how the world works, but I know that I had a good day with you. It really is that simple when you're a kid, you know, like your parent is like your whole world, and like it doesn't matter what gets thrown our way because I know that you're basically a superhero and that you're the best and you're gonna get us through this.
And I know you're not scared of anything at all.
Alright, the next song on the album is Change, and this song means so much more to me now as an adult than it did when I was in middle school. And a book that I think fits this song perfectly is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston.
Repeating history and you're getting sick of it.
And I feel like this book fits it perfectly just because this is one of the only political kind of books that I've ever loved, especially in the bridge of this song in like the 3rd verse when she's saying, it was the night things changed, the walls that they put up to hold us back fell down, it's a revolution, and like the idea that love will win in the end, you know? It's like that quote from this book, history, huh? Like that is so fitting with the vibe of change. And honestly, after the last election, oh my god, listening to Change, like it means so much more to me now, like it makes me cry. But it's like, throw your hands up because we never gave in. And you know, this book, it just promotes love, you know? It's a gay romance at the center of the story, and then it also has a female president, and it's just beautiful. We love to see it.
These walls that they put to hold us back will fall down.
Of the 2 bonus songs, one of the ones that I chose for this is Untouchable. Untouchable is one of my fucking favorites. I love it so much. I do know that this is actually a cover, like Taylor Swift didn't actually write Untouchable. It's a cover of a really old song, but it is still beautiful and stunning, and it's one of my favorites from her. And a book that I feel like fits the song Untouchable really well is Him by Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy.
Untouchable, burning brighter than the sun. And when you're close, I feel like coming undone.
Him is one of my absolute goddamn favorite romances of all time, if you didn't know. It's a male-male romance, and it follows these 2 hockey players, Jamie and Wes. And I just feel like the idea of these lyrics being like, I'm caught up in you, and like, come on, say that we'll be together. Because in this book, Jamie is exploring his sexuality. He doesn't really know what his sexuality is, but then Wes is already very established in his sexuality and he knows that he's gay. So it's like, I almost imagine this song from Wes's point of view, telling Jamie like, come on, just say that we'll be together, because they can't deny the chemistry that they have. And this book is just, it's one of my favorite romances of all time. I just adore Jamie and Wes so much. And it's just so cute. And honestly, every time I talk about this book, I immediately want to pick it up and reread it.
Come on, say that we'll be together.
And then the last song that I chose from one of her bonus songs is The Other Side of the Door, because the song is so fun. And it's also one of my favorites. I love the ending, I love the end of this song, how it kind of turns into like almost a rap when she's just like spitting lyrics so fast. And a book that I think fits this song so well is The Hating Game.
I said leave, but all I really want is you.
Because I think the whole lyrics of like The Other Side of the Door, it's almost like describing this kind of like hate to love romance, because she's like, I said leave, but all I really want is you. And she's basically saying, I just want you to fight for me. Like, I say that I don't want you, but deep down all I really want is for you to admit that you want me first. And those lyrics, don't you leave, because I know all I need is on the other side of the door. This book is so cute, this song is so cute, and Josh and Lucy, like, yes. It just fits the song perfectly. You're welcome.
To stand outside my window, throwing flowers, screaming, I'm in love with you.
Right, so those are all of the songs, like a book for every song on Fearless. But again, I know this is going up, this video is going up on the day that Fearless comes out. So I don't know the answer for this yet, but I'm very excited to listen to these vault songs, and you'll have to let me know down below if you have listened to the album. What is your favorite song on the re-records, and what is your favorite new vault song out of like the 6? I think there's 6 different vault songs. I really do like You All Over Me, and I'm very excited for the one with Keith Urban because I love Keith Urban. But for me personally, the ones that I'm most excited to hear re-recorded is definitely Breathe, Fearless, and Forever and Always, because they're like my top 3 faves. I definitely did cry when I heard Love Story again re-recorded. That song just means so much to me. Yeah, please let me know, what is your top 3 favorite songs on the Fearless album? Like, what are your go-tos? What are your number 1 fave jams? And also, where does Fearless rank for you on the list of like Taylor Swift albums? Because I honestly don't know, and I feel like every time I think about it, I change my answers. But I feel like Fearless does rank pretty low for me, just because of the like country style isn't my go-to, you know, like I much prefer her like Folklore Evermore sound or her like 1989 Reputation sound. But I still love this album. I mainly love this album so hard because of the nostalgia for me personally. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will throw in all of the clips here of me jamming so we can jam together, because that's how this goes. And I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye.
Once upon a time, I believe it was a Tuesday when I caught your eye. We caught on something about the way the street looks when it's just rain. Then you were Romeo, you were throwing pebbles. But see, I'm the one who understands you. So take my hand and drag me head first. Fearless. She wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts. She's cheer captain and I'm on the bleachers. Oh, I stare at the phone, he still hasn't called. And then you feel so low, you can't feel nothing at all. Ignoring words that you were saying, trying to make me stay. Oh, I remember you driving to my house in the middle of the night. I love you and that's all I really know. Screaming, I'm in love with you, right there in the pouring rain. When we said forever and always. And you crazy, but Romeo saved me. They're trying to tell me how to feel, 'cause life is difficult, but it's real. The face and her beautiful eyes, and the conversation with the little white lies, and the faded picture of the beautiful night. I'm the one who makes you laugh when you know you're about to cry. I'm so in love that you're acting sick, and that's the way I love you. Every time you shine, I'll shine for you. Oh, I'm holding you, baby. I broke down crying when she wore this mess. After everything in that little black dress, dim that spotlight, tell me things like, you know it's never simple, never easy, never a clean break, no one here to save me. I realize your laugh is the best sound I have ever heard. You were wild and crazy, just so frustrating. Lived, I learned that you got burned. My mistake, I didn't know to be in love. You had to fight to have the upper hand.
Why does this song make me want to cry?
with you today.
Oh, this song makes me emotional. Ugh. Wow, the first time I listened to 15, I was like 13 years old, and listening to 15 when you're 26, it hits different. This album just makes me feel really nostalgic for like middle school and like freshman year of high school, like wow.